You see Tom Cruise try to sneak around London to go see Tenet.
Like, why even bother? You're Tom Cruise.
That
You're
was like the joke
Tom
of it all.
G.D. Cruise.
That was the joke of it all. He shows him in not a limo, but probably like a SUV type machinery vehicle, and he's in the back. And there's obviously a camera crew's following him because he was documenting all this for his Twitter.
Of course.
And he's sitting in there. He's got his mask on, and like I guess they stop at a light and people look in. And they're like, "Oh hey!" And he waves back and he goes, "But I have a mask on. How do they know it's me?" Because you're Tom G.D. Cruise.
It would have been better if it was like the Avengers movies where they're like, I'm just gonna wear sunglasses and a like blank black baseball cap. Now no one knows who I am. Like, you're not Earth's mightiest heroes. They don't wear black baseball caps.
Was that not addressed in something? Was it in one of the movies or
It was
show?
probably in like some parody.
I remember hearing someone's like, "You're just wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses. I still know it's you." Or maybe it wasn't like an Ant-Man or something.
Yeah, it seems like it would be something like Ant-Man. That's the one. Oh yeah, it was probably an Ant-Man 2.
Oh yeah, because like Michael Douglas has his disguise.
Yeah, in quotation. Yeah, definitely Ant-Man 2.
Sunglasses. But it's so true because they even did that in the Netflix shows too.
Yeah, like come on, you're not, especially like. I mean, the first kind of instance, I guess, was Captain America, the first Avenger, when he like goes to visit his. Oh no, I guess that would have been in Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
when he goes to visit his like his museum thing, and like nobody except this one little kid recognizes him, and doesn't like immediately like go nuts.
Are we so sure he recognized him? He was wearing a blank baseball cap.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean,
with like a leather jacket,
yeah,
jeans.
I mean, Captain America told him to shh, so must have been in on it at least a little bit.
That is a Steve Rogers move.
Yeah, classic Steve Rogers.
It's his ultimate. That's his finisher.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Shh. Oh, damn.
Oh. Now I can't say anything.
He shushed me, Ma. He shushed me. So yeah, big thing over the weekend. Big thing. Not my broken toilet.
Which was also a big thing, but
it was
not in the whole global sense of it all.
So, like I said, Ashley was gone with the kids, so I had the day to myself, which I thought was going to be a fantastic, just
toilet breaking day. just
yeah. So I messaged her basically because was getting a quote on some eavesdropping here, and so that guy was showing up between 11 and 2. So in the morning, 11 to 2 weeks from now. So she just threw like off the cuff, like, "Oh, so you're gonna clean for me while you're waiting?" So
of course.
So I vacuum the main level, go upstairs, vacuuming, clean the toilets and stuff, and then I'm vacuuming in behind the toilet. Then I see water. So I just assumed it was me making a mess when I was cleaning.
Naturally,
I wiped it all up, and then I flushed the toilet again. Then I saw the water go on. It's like, oh, son of a bitch. So yeah, the bolt holding the tank to the bowl, the washer inside was all corroded, and thought I fixed it. But then when I replaced the other bolt, that side was leaking, and as of now, knock on wood, it's not doing it. So,
yay!
And the quote was like $2,000 for the eavesdrop, and I'm like,
yikes.
Thanks. And my favorite thing is when the guy gives you the quote on, like, I want to put it in spots I don't have, like here, whatever. So he's like, yeah, so I can put it here. This is a quote. However, you're going to need to replace what you currently have.
Oh,
because the way it was set up 20 years ago, they don't do it that way anymore because of, as he tells me, they did it with nails. Now they screw it with brackets. And if you look over here where it was nailed, what happens with nails is they start to let go over time. So it's separating from the house.
What happened was the nails are separating.
So, yeah, they're separating from the house. I don't know who's going to get the kids.
It's either the eaves or the troughs. I don't know.
So the guy's like, if you're planning on like selling within the next 5 years, you'll probably have to get it replaced, or if you're going to be here within the next 5 years or longer than 5 years, we might think of getting it fixed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I will take your quote. I will kindly fold it up and throw it on my table here.
Flush it down my toilet.
No, like, no kidding. No, DC Fandome.
That's the big news.
So there was no, well, there was a Comic-Con, but
kind of not really.
So I guess DC wanted to take a page out of Marvel's book or Disney's book and have their own event. And apparently 22 million people watched it over the 2 days, which was originally supposed to be just a 24-hour thing. That's pretty good.
Long, yeah. It's a long time to announce a bunch of things. Like, I mean, I think even for me, like I'm a big Marvel fan, but to like watch, I don't know, 10, 15 announcements that are, I assume they were like substantially long enough, not just like 5 minutes, here's a trailer, 5 minutes, here's a trailer. Like even that, I'm like, can I get a supercut of all this? Or like just, hey, what happened in the last 2 days in a like 8-minute YouTube video? That's all I need.
Right. Yeah. Because even I've always said I want to go to Comic-Con, like during its heyday when everybody was going. But yeah, wait in line for like 8-10 hours to sit through like a panel of, basically it's like, oh, here 20 minutes of here's Robert Downey Jr. Here's Chris Evans. Here's yeah. Just show me the 3 minutes of footage I came here to see.
Like, start the movie.
Yeah. Hey Michelle, they started the trailer yet?
Yeah.
Because that's just, and then like we're there to see 3 minutes of unfinished product too.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be good. It just has to be something we haven't seen before.
You remember when they were showing like the unfinished footage of Spider-Man 3? Well, back when everyone thought it was going to be good.
Yeah,
like they had Venom and the CG wasn't done. Like, okay, at least we know what's coming.
Even when Marvel, it wasn't at maybe it was at Comic-Con, but when they showed like the first little bit of Avengers Endgame, but like they didn't actually show it to anyone, just people who were there were allowed to see it. Yeah. And then I remember just like reading about, Thor hits a window, something, and I was like, that's like pretty much where I stopped reading, because I didn't really understand what I don't know why I clicked on it in the first place, but I'm like, they actually saw it, and so people had to like try and remember as much as they could and then write it all down. But I'm like, this is what we came here to see. Sure, interviews with people are cool, I guess, but like at that point I can read a summary later on. But all right, so what happened? What was the big news here? What did I miss in these 2 days?
Flash season 7.
Not that. Okay, so 6 seasons, but are we getting a movie?
Well, like the interesting thing is just how the DC TV landscape is going to be different going forward. Just like for example, like all the shows ended early because of
COVID,
stuff. Yeah. So like all their plans have effectively been scrapped. Like the season 7 trailer for The Flash is actually season 6 episode 20 that they didn't get to finish. So that's gonna be the premiere. So, and then they also fired one of the actors because of Twitter.
Yes.
So they talked about how like they're gonna have to recast him and then write him out. And then obviously there's like Batwoman has a new character, a new Batwoman.
A new Batwoman.
And then Supergirl, all that stuff ended early. No idea when they're going to come back. So that's the TV portion. But the big thing that they did mention is that DC's going all in on multiverse now.
Yep.
So the TV and the movies, while they're separate, they're all connected.
All canon.
Right. Which is funny because the big thing of this season's crossover, this past season's crossover, was them basically saying the multiverse is gone.
Yeah.
Now it's not really. So you kind of undercut everything you did there, but it was more so just to bring all of their shows that were on different Earths to one Earth, and now there's still multiverse.
Yeah. So it's basically just to try and catch up with something like the MCU and like Agents of Shield and stuff like that. Like bringing, is it bringing the movies and the shows together, or just all the shows?
So when they had the Arrowverse start, they had the Flash, and they had Arrow, then the Flash, and then when CBS had Supergirl, it didn't seem like they were going to be connected, and then they decided, yeah, it is connected, but they had her on a different Earth, and then when CBS decided they weren't going to air the show anymore, and they brought her over to the CW, like, okay, well now it's together, but she's not on Earth 1, she's on Earth 19. And then they had Black Lightning, which was not supposed to be part of the Arrowverse, but then they decided, okay, yeah, it is. So then it just makes everything easier by bringing everybody to,
yeah, of course,
what they call Earth Prime now. But with that brings you to the news we talked about before, rumor wise, with the Flash movie, is that Keaton's confirmed, and Affleck is back.
Which, that was a surprise.
And those might not even be the only two Batman in the movie. So they're going all in on multiverse with this Flash.
God, I cannot wait to see Val Kilmer again. Clooney I could do without.
Which ironically, this came out today. So IMDb was doing a poll, a bracket, if you will.
Were they ranking the Batmans?
They were. Look how this ended out.
No.
According to fan voting, Affleck is the best part. So we had Bale versus Kilmer, the kid that played Bruce Wayne on Gotham versus Adam West, Keaton Conroy. Obviously, Kevin Conroy is the voice of the Batman animated series, and Affleck and Clooney. So as you see, Keaton over Conroy, Affleck over Clooney, Bale over Kilmer, Adam West, and then Bale over Adam West.
Okay, like I would have chosen, first round, absolutely. Christian Bale, for sure. Adam West, for sure. Michael Keaton, for sure. And I would have chosen George Clooney over Ben Affleck.
What do we really remember about Batman and Robin? Is it Clooney being bad, or the insane amount of puns?
Well, I mean, you could say this. Yeah, it's definitely the puns and the nipples. I think that's because I don't know what there was more of.
More bat nipples.
I feel like there were more bat nipples than puns, but I mean, it could be. It's a very close tie.
Well, don't forget, when they're bidding on Poison Ivy and says to Batman, what is that, a money belt? I thought that was a utility belt. And then he pulls out the bat card.
Because
never leave the
cave without it. But okay, so after that first round, though, between Christian Bale and Adam West, like I would just choose Christian Bale. Like I just, it's been a really long time since I've watched Adam West be Batman, but Christian, like the Dark Knight series was so good. And then Michael Keaton over George Clooney for sure. And then I think it would be I'd probably just choose Christian Bale because I thought Michael Keaton was the best in Batman Returns, and he was just like pretty good in was Batman 1 just called The Batman?
It's Batman and then Batman Returns.
Oh, just Batman.
Yeah.
And then I think like Christian Bale was just a better, like his series was just better than Michael Keaton's series. I would choose Christian Bale over.
What? So based on that, are you saying the Batman based on the series, not the performance?
No, I guess so. Because I
would say between Christian Bale in those three movies, I found his best performance was in Begins. because he didn't have the Rachel.
Yeah, that's true. But like, yeah, I think as an overall, like I would much rather watch the Dark Knight trilogy than Batman and Batman Returns. And like that could be like recency bias also.
I think this
But
is
at the same time, I also don't want to watch Batman versus Superman. So it can't be that much of recency bias.
I do. I think this is recency bias based on the whole Snyder Cut stuff.
But like, I don't want to. Oh yeah, the fact the fact that Ben Affleck won. You mean? Yeah, absolutely. That's
like I remember when they announced Affleck as Batman. I had no problems with Affleck playing Batman. I had problems with the idea that they're rushing into a Batman versus Superman movie.
Yeah,
and then as you can see, as how it all turned out, it was kind of right.
Absolutely, and I'm like,
cool.
It's hard to there. You know, there have been so many Batman actors that it's like, I don't think there's ever been a time where they chose someone new as Batman and people were like, I could see it. Right? Because like every single Batman,
for sure, too. He was coming off of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mom?
Yeah, like it's just every time when there was like, oh, it's George Clooney, people were like, oh, George Clooney's not Batman. And then like Val Kilmer's not Batman. Even Christian Bale, they were like, how's he going to play Batman? And, you know, it worked out.
Who's not American.
Yeah. And, you know, like I'm fairly certain I probably said the same thing about Ben Affleck, and I probably said the same thing about what's his name there? Twilight. Robert Pattinson. Yeah. You know, I'm like, because I know him as the Twilight Vampire and as Cedric from the Harry Potter movies. And I'm like, I don't know, it's not the Batman I'm used to seeing, but I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm sure he'll be fine. They chose him for a reason. But we'll see.
Because he's a Brit.
We shall see.
That is the only reason. So yeah, that I guess leads to the next part. Well, we'll do that in a minute. Let's go to the rest. So
and the rest.
Trailer number. So they also didn't really have any footage, but they had something like concept art for Black Adam.
Is that that's the one? That's The Rock.
Yeah. So in the comics, Black Adam is like the adversary to Shazam. I've always said nothing is a smarter move than to have a movie based on a villain. To have the villain then
lose,
play second fiddle to the hero in the next one.
Yeah.
And then they announced a second Shazam movie with, I think, the title. I don't think I have that in front of me. I never saw it. You liked the first one though, right?
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. That was the one like bright part of the DCEU so far, because they didn't. I don't know. It seemed like with Batman vs Superman and Justice League and Wonder Woman and the other ones, like they were just trying to be as anti-Marvel as possible, you know, just like everything's dark, it's raining all the time, and you know, it's just like that kind of tone, whereas all the Marvel movies have been bright and bubbly and jokey and stuff like that. And Shazam totally, like, if you didn't know that it was a DC superhero movie, you would just think that Shazam is another Marvel movie because that's like a fun, jokey superhero movie.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, yep, this tracks as Marvel. And I don't know, maybe that's why I liked it. Like, it was just so much more fun, and so like it didn't take itself too seriously, and that's what made it good.
It's Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
I don't really know the Shazam story, so I don't know if that title actually holds any weight. But like, I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't know what that means. That's fun. When's that? I guess that's like 2022 or who knows when.
Is it 2022 now?
Yeah.
And then we had the second trailer drop for Wonder Woman 84. I haven't seen 2 through 83. Basically showing the first look at what Kristen Wiig looks like as Cheetah. So
yeah,
just all CG from what's in the
course.
movie, which is we talked about with Marvel, like everything's CG, even
guns.
half a gun.
Yeah.
I find there's like it just fits better. Like to me, just when I've seen so far of when like they had the Justice League trailer or even the fight scenes in this, it just I know it's CG, but to me, I know it and it looks it, so it takes me out of it.
Like the Black Panther fight.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like, exactly what it looks like. It's like it is a boss fight in a PS4 game.
Yeah, like good CG makes you wonder, like, is that practical or CG? And you know, it kind of blurs the lines. Bad CG, you can like pick it out. Just it's insane. And then yeah, you're right. It definitely just. I mean, obviously, we're going to watch a movie about superheroes and time travel and all that stuff. So yeah, like pretty much anything could take you out of the movie since you're already suspending your belief on a lot of other things. But yeah, as soon as that bad CG hits, you're like, oh, like, yeah, this part I cannot believe. This is out of all the things, this is the one. No.
I believe that a man could regenerate his skin after taking a bullet, but when he gets hit by a log and I can tell it's not a human being anymore,
I'm done. I'm out.
You had me at the end, adamantium claws. You lost me at the log hitting them. Yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine, probably some of the worst CG.
It was so bad.
This side of 2000. Yeah, I just like Jurassic Park was on the other day. I flicked it on there. 93. I'll buy that CG.
Yeah, it didn't look terrible. Like, I mean, compared to now, of course. Like if you compare Jurassic Park versus Jurassic World, like yeah, okay, you can.
I'd still take Jurassic Park.
I mean, of course, like, Jurassic Park is just a better movie. Wait for our review on that.
Plus, there's a lot more practical than.
Yeah, exactly. And like it almost makes it look better when it's not as smooth, you know, like when the dinosaurs are walking, but it's like not just perfectly smooth.
Yeah,
you're like, all right, I can buy that a little more.
I can't remember what account I follow on Twitter, but they were showing some of the or explaining how they made a lot of the practical effects in John Carpenter's The Thing. So I'm watching that.
That was a good movie too.
And it's all practical, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying.
Because they were showing how they did the when the guy is going to do the paddles for the guy's heart in his chest, and his chest opens up, and the chest bites the arms off.
Yeah,
they explained how that was all done. I'm watching, like, this is not like for what was it, 1984, something like that. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. It was definitely before I came to Canada, I'm sure, because I know I didn't see it until 82. Yeah. I know I didn't see it until I was like
fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's insane. And then now it's like you see like aliens movies and like things jumping out of chests, and you're like, yeah,
Gee, man.
Yeah.
This one, a head's just like falls off the body and a leg spread out of it. It's that's not computerized.
Yeah, you're like, nope, not for me.
Don't like that.
Don't like that.
Even the remake prequel, also called The Thing. Well, it did have more CGI. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It had a lot of practical stuff in it too.
The original, though, so good.
Oh, the original or John Carpenter's original?
John Carpenter's the
Talking
original
horror movies,
thing.
like 100 times over.
Yeah.
But no, the piece de resistance that we were talking about from
What just happened there?
Doorway.
Oh, there it is. Oh, you got some flickering. There you go.
This guy. That's
Oh.
the one. Oh, no.
What is happening?
Nothing is happening. Don't you
No.
worry.
That's fine. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah. The Batman is a thing. DC's The Batman. They dropped the first teaser trailer, which shows Robert Pattinson, establishes the Riddler as the main villain, and shows glimpses of the Catwoman and an unrecognizable Colin Farrell.
I had no idea until I read it. I'm like, and then after I saw it was Colin Farrell, I'm like, gotta go back. What is this? Literally, he was like the last person I would have thought that's.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was.
I can tell you, 2022 Oscar winner for best makeup.
Yeah, has to be. So yeah, we got main villain Riddler, scenes of Catwoman and Penguin. Like, is this going to be, is it going to be setup style, or is it going to be like Spider-Man 3 style? Just
and what's his face?
What is his face?
I just had his name and I like completely fucking blanked. Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
You know who I'm talking.
Yeah, I know. I recently just watched Interstellar. He's in that too. I forget his actual name.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, man, I wish it was LeVar Burton. As soon as I saw him walk up, I'm like, man, they missed their chance.
Doesn't get a lot of love in the DCU. LeVar Burton. Come on, man.
But also not Commissioner Gordon. He is still
Lieutenant
or whatever.
Sergeant, Captain.
Yeah, whatever's one underneath Commissioner.
So Matt Reeves is directing this, and he says this is going to be like set in
year 2.
Batman's year 2. So I just starting with Nirvana's Something the Way, which hooked me in right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we haven't really seen outside of the Schumacher movies really is Batman working with the police, like in the open.
Yeah.
Like he's walking into the murder scene. Cops are not, razz him or anything. You just, this is for you.
Well, it looks in one scene, it looks like they're kind of surprised to see someone, because it shows Gordon walking and then all the cops looking past him into the camera. I guess we're to assume that that's Batman, like following him.
Look at this guy dressed as
yeah
over here.
Check this guy out.
I don't know about you, but when I was watching that, I got to me it felt like if David Fincher was to do a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like it's like Seven, but with Batman. Yeah. Not that kind of Seven.
No. I don't know. It seems like I mean, it's hard to say, hard to tell. Like, obviously they're going to show the best stuff, so it's easy to get excited for this movie. But there's still so much to be shot, right? Like it's not like it's wrapped or anything.
No.
There's so much that has to happen.
Still in production.
Yeah. So some of these scenes, well, definitely some of these scenes won't even end up in the final cut, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were originally going to shoot all around London, and then the pandemic hit, and then I think I read somewhere that they decided just to play it safe, they're just going to do everything on a soundstage.
Yeah.
So we could have seen some stuff that might have to get reshot and it'll look different.
But yeah, it seems I don't know, I'm excited for another Riddler if they can make it less Jim Carrey-y.
More Chris Nolan-y.
But I'm excited to see how it goes. obviously I would like it to do well because it really like Batman needs a big bounce back after
Affleck.
yeah, well, not just Affleck, but like just that whole like Batman vs Superman and Justice League. Is there a third one?
He was in Suicide Squad for a
Yeah,
minute.
but was there? Oh, I'm thinking of. No, I'm not. How many Henry Cavill Supermans have there been? Was he Man of Steel or was
Man of
that
Steel, and then
okay?
BVS, and then Justice League.
Justice League, yeah, okay. So yeah, just the two kind of main Batman ones were those, but like even that whole series, like Man of Steel, all the way to Justice League, and I mean we've talked countless times about
Ad nauseum.
Wonder Woman being pretty good the first time, and then just like getting worse in subsequent
And
viewings.
as we figured out, it was likely due to it's like guilty by association. It's good being associated with those, but then upon repeat viewings, like this is
as a standalone, if you were like
okay movie,
yeah. But it goes the other way too. Like there's lots of bad Marvel movies that have been, bumped up in the ranks due to other Marvel movies around it. So, but it just goes to show how bad Justice League and Batman vs Superman were.
I'm excited for this one, and I find myself being more excited probably because I know that unlike a Marvel movie, this isn't going to follow a basic formula.
Yeah, and it definitely seems like I don't know, like it just seemed the tone of the movie or the tone of the trailer, that it wasn't going to be. So remember when we talked about who directed Batman vs Superman?
Snyder.
Yes. When he talked about like him saying like was he the one that said like Batman kills and with it?
Basically fuck the fans.
Yeah. And like I have a feeling that it's going to be like that in this one too, where Robert Pattinson, his Batman, it seems like he's not going to try and actively kill someone, but it seems like he's going to understand, like, because in the trailer, when they're like, "Who are you?" and then he just like dummies the guy, says vengeance, and then continues to punch him. Like, I mean, at that point, you like. Stop it. You're killing him.
He's already dead.
He's already dead. So like that part is good because I feel like they're continuing that trend of him just being like darker and darker. Which I mean like it suits his origin story, right? Like a lot more than the other ones. Also, I'm really glad that they're not. I mean, I hope that they're not doing origin story. They're like, Kate, we're in year 2. He's already figured like he's Batman. Deal with it.
Like they honestly, I hope they do the Homecoming route where they just have either Alfred or Bruce in passing just say something like when Pete says to I forget everybody's names today.
To guy in the chair there.
Guy in the chair. Ned. He's just says like when like once does your aunt know like you're Spider-Man? He says, I don't want to her to worry with all that she's been through in the past year.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or all that she's been through. Like you do something like that.
And just like he was like
something happened. What was it? Oh, probably the time with his parents.
Yeah. No, but he even in the movie, even in that, they were like, I got bit by a spider. Oh, cool. Do you still have it? No, it's dead.
Okay.
Like, that was like origin story. Okay. So he got bit by a spider. Now he has spider powers. Cool. Like that's all like we already know that. And it's perfect that they just it was a throwaway line.
Yeah, I didn't see Batman vs Superman, but I know that they did the Waynes again.
Yep, they did.
And they did the Waynes again, even though this is supposed to be a well-seasoned Batman.
Definitely looked like it.
So we gotta fucking just
ram that down our throats.
Yeah, keep chopping down that tree. And then lastly, outside of one thing. it was very obvious that this is gonna be more of a detective Batman
Yeah,
than before, like with him getting the riddles and stuff like that.
I think that'll be fun. Like that was, I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't that fun with Val Kilmer's Riddler. Like the way he figured out some of the riddles was so bad. But I feel like
A little like short, like 30-second montage where he's just like
yeah,
forth with Alfred.
make
And then he
some more
figures,
coffee.
yeah,
But I feel like this one, the riddles will be again just kind of keeping with the darker tone, right? So they won't be like jokey riddles.
and then when they figure it out too, like Alfred's like trying to piece it together, and Batman's acting's like, "Yeah, dude, just add these two numbers together. Maybe that makes it R,
Yeah,
or mystery, or Mr. Enigma, Edward Enigma." He storms out of the room.
The most ridiculous way to get
Mr. Enigma. And Alfred's like, "You're quite smart, despite what people say."
We got to revisit that. We got to revisit that one too.
Yeah, I don't need to do the Burton ones. Just go with these really or awful ones. Oh fuck! And then Zack Snyder confirms that his cut will be a 4-part miniseries or series.
Yeah,
much like what Quentin Tarantino did with the Hateful Eight on Netflix.
But so it's Snyder Cut's only going to be on HBO, right? That's
HBO Max. Yeah,
HBO Max. So not even like Crave plus HBO, or
I think if it's a Max original in Canada, it's on Crave.
Okay, as long as you have the HBO package.
Also, right.
Yeah,
I believe that is the case.
Well,
I don't know. I know this is the thing that finally gets me to check it out. I still might not.
I feel like you should watch the bad one.
Watch the bad.
What's that?
Then I have to watch the bad. I just watched bad movies this past weekend.
Well, then you're used to it. I think I think to appreciate the whatever differences there are going to be, or however many differences there are going to be, you have to know how bad it was. You know, just to appreciate. Well, if it's even good, like who knows? The Snyder Cut might just be like, I doubt that it would be worse just because Justice League is so bad.
Careful what you wish for situation.
Yeah, like Justice League was
terrible. Oh god, turn it off.
I would say this is either going to be like laterally as bad or a little bit better. And I'm just hoping that it's a little bit better.
It was like the Batman versus Superman Ultimate Edition. I think I saw a review. Someone said it like it's not good. It's just better than what they released.
Yeah, because it was like 20 minutes more of the movie, or like 20 minutes more,
and fleshed out some spots.
Yeah.
Like I have was it the Ultimate Edition or extended cut of
it was Spider-Man called 3? Something. Yeah, it was called Ultimate something.
Yeah, I have a Spider-Man one that has it's like somehow like 30 seconds more or something like that, and they took stuff out and rearranged things and added stuff, and yet it's not any longer.
Yeah.
It plays a little bit differently, but at the same time, it's still Spider-Man 3.
Oh god, such a great movie.
Add that to your revisit list.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe just Spider-Man 2.
The extended cut of that one too.
Yes, Spider-Man 2. But it was called Spider-Man 2.1, right?
Part of me feels that they only released that to add the scene where he has the police scanner to explain why he has a police scanner number 3.
Wasn't there an extended cut of the elevator scene too? I'm just riffing with you here. Thwip.
For fragrance ideas.
Yeah. I remember that being like one of my favorite parts of Spider-Man 2.1. Was
slow elevator.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Jameson in the suit.
Yes. Oh, yes. That was also fantastic. Amazing.
Speaking of revisiting, did you see that they are going to because of the unlicensed fake trailer of a proposed Fresh Prince reboot, they're actually going to reboot it as a drama.
Yeah,
I'm kind of on board for that. I think
I'm on board with that as well. I mean, I'm obviously going to give it a try.
Yeah, I don't know how you do Carlton like that now.
Yeah,
You'd have to be like an MTV or like, I don't know, like, what you say, not a Jersey Shore, but like one of those type of people, right? You know, like more of a, or I guess, or would that more be more Hillary now?
I guess I think that would be more Hillary. What if you made Carlton like that episode where they go to MacArthur Park and he like gets all good with Will's like tough guy friends and they start calling him C Note? And he's acting all like he's acting all around. Why are you using those big words?
You think they change? It's not Will Smith anymore?
Because no, I don't think he could. I think that would ruin the
Will Smythe. Just add a letter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm Willie Smythe.
Yo, Willie Smythe. Ain't that right, Will Smith? Yeah, I checked that out. I think that'd be right.
I think that'll be. Well, we'll see. That's good. That's definitely going to be.
Any of them shows up, like Carlton's now Uncle Phil, like Alfonso's Uncle Phil, or
yeah,
or you have one of them come back. You have Bashley be and Viv.
That would be amazing.
This is what they do with all these reboots, right? Is they bring them back in some capacity.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, it's or like because there's really no other way they can do it. But
it's the nostalgia of the show, but you have the nostalgia of the because like they're bringing back apparently Who's the Boss with Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano. Now it's going to be like about her, and then he's, I guess, no longer the boss.
Oh, so who's the Mrs. Boss? Mrs. Who's the Boss?
I guess, I don't know. They're just nuts. Everything's coming back, man. Thanks. It's all because of these streaming platforms.
Well, it's all because of lack of creativity. Also, it's because of
lack of creativity or brand recognition.
Well, I mean, like nostalgia plays a huge part, but there's a reason that Netflix shows get canceled after 2 years.
Money.
And shows like Friends and The Office are constantly just like at the top of most streamed list. It's a comfort thing and also like familiarity. But then as soon as you get a new show, you're either going to say that it's trying too hard to be like a Friends or a Seinfeld or Full House or something like that, or it's going to be completely different and you're going to say, well, I wish this was more like Friends or Seinfeld.
You think that's why a show like Stranger Things does so well? It's because it plays upon our nostalgia for
100%. I mean, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. But and then it relies on like just good fun characters and like a pretty good enough story. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it is. It reels you in with the nostalgia, but then you get something a little new out of it.
Yeah, like I don't watch the Goldbergs, but I feel that's probably why it's so popular. Because the time it's set in. I don't watch it. It's 80s. They do a lot of episodes that are references to like Ghostbusters or John Hughes movies and things like that. You have any interest in watching that new Saved by the Bell?
Nah, I'm gonna check it out, but really, like, I doubt I'm gonna enjoy this. Also, like,
you lost me when Zach named his son Mac.
Yeah. the Mac attack is back, quack.
Yeah, and he also dyes his hair.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then like it's single camera, so the school doesn't even look like it did. The Max looks different. Max is back.
Does Mac own Max? It's a different spelling.
Damn it. But yeah, nostalgia. I watched Rambo Last Blood.
Ooh.
Christ. like you've seen any of the Rambos?
Oh yeah.
So you know Rambo has long hair and wears a bandana?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Yeah, short hair, never wears it. Doesn't reference Vietnam. Does mention that he's fighting a war.
Of course.
Well, but the implication is it's a psychological one because of PTSD. But I'm sure you're never going to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay. Spoil away, good sir.
No, the ending is I thought the worst ending I've seen probably in all of cinema. So
okay, all of cinema.
Listen.
Okay.
He takes everybody out. I only talk about the fact that he just rips a guy's heart right out of his chest because that happens. But he's
a thing people do.
Shot a couple times, so he's bleeding out. So he kills the guy. He walks out of his barn. He runs to his front porch.
After he's been shot. Okay.
Yeah. Stumbles, gets up, goes to the rocking chair that's on there, sits down, pan out, credits. It's not even like he's like rushing over there and you see him die. He just sits and starts rocking, and that's it.
I mean, yeah, I guess that does sound
and you think
the worst.
If it was like one of those things where a guy was like, on the run or something, and he just sits and he pans out, cops are coming to get him or something. He just shows that he gives up. No, just shows like his place with the bodies on the ground, fires because from explosions and everything. And he's just sitting there rocking as he's bleeding out. I'm like, and then credits were done, and then like the credits is montage with like the end of Rocky Balboa or Rocky 5 where they show shows all the clips from the old movies. What the fuck is this? And then the other one was Bad Boys for Life.
Yes.
I thought natural progression for the series, right? Older. I thought maybe, something coming back. Well, I thought the part where they said someone from their past was going to come back to bite him, and that would be a character we may have seen from the other two movies.
Hey, Leone.
Her, maybe the daughter of Johnny Tapia, who's grown up now.
Of course.
But no, it turns out Will was a UC well before he even knew Marcus as a cop, and then he had a kid, and now the kid's going out.
God, I just wish it was Reggie.
But he was
I recently, I'm not even kidding, like in the last 3 days, I've probably watched that Reggie clip like 3 times because I don't know why it popped up in my YouTube suggestions, and I was like, oh yeah, my one of my favorite scenes of all time. Yeah. And then I watched it, I laughed, and then I watched it again because it's like 30 seconds of just hilarious.
And the one thing I don't get about all 3 movies is Marcus's house is different in each one.
Every single one. Well, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this last one was smaller than the one they had before.
Well, they had to downsize because of
I guess. But there was a nice house in the second one. Yeah, I also just found they were trying a little too hard
to bring back the jokes,
feel of it.
Yeah,
it's not a bad movie. It's just I would say more of a letdown.
Yeah, well, I'm that's kind of why most of the the Fuller Houses and the Roseanne show. What was that one called?
The Connors.
Or
Roseanne when it came.
Or yeah. Well, yeah. But all those shows that they're trying to bring back, they're trying too hard to make it like the old show.
Yeah.
And that style or that kind of humor, it doesn't play. We've talked so often about how shows like Friends can not get away, but got away with so much homophobic stuff Where if they tried to make those jokes now, like it's not gonna fly. It's not gonna be good. But like,
Yeah, like we all thought it was hilarious when Murtaugh was too old for this shit.
yeah,
We're old. We're like, yeah, man, I get it.
I'm with you. Like, I can't believe you're still going out there. Like, take that desk job and chill, bro.
Because I just thought like they just looked old.
Yeah,
Like, and like Will Smith's not that old, but he just, for who his character is and the type of role he's supposed to have in the police department, he just looked old.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like Sam Jackson and Captain Marvel looking like he's 30, running like
we're running like he's 80.
And it's the same thing here. Like Martin Lawrence is, put on some pounds. He looked big. He looked like a guy who couldn't be doing that job anymore.
Yeah.
I know they played up with them, like, put your glasses on.
Yeah.
Third act where he's fighting when his reading glasses.
Oh wow, I can really see. I've been telling you this for years.
But yeah, it didn't land like it did with the other two. And like
Also,
they didn't have long breaks between the first and the second one, but this was what, 13 years?
Yeah. But it's also like, I mean, while a lot of the movies from our past, like we can still enjoy them, it's also true that a lot of them don't aren't as funny to us anymore. Like obviously our tastes and our sense of humor has changed a little. Okay, you all right there?
Yeah.
Jeez.
My elbow.
Oh,
screw this on this mic clip is loose. If I turn it a certain way, it just gives out. Like
yeah. But yeah, like our sense of humor and our tastes are a little different. And there's some movie like Rush Hour is always going to be funny for us. Whereas things like Bad Boys is funny as Bad Boys, but
yeah,
as a remake 20 years later, 15 years later, it's like less funny. And I don't know, it doesn't make it bad. It just means that like maybe not that we've outgrown Bad Boys, but they just did. It's just movies that don't need to get made, which has been happening a lot.
I think my other biggest beef is that it ended. You're like, okay, this is a nice send off, and then there's an extra scene.
Why?
Where did this come from in the series that didn't happen before? Yeah, I find that too. Like, there's a lot of movies that I'll watch from childhood or early teens, whatever, that will take me back to that time, like Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Or like Jurassic Park or Ghostbusters. But yeah, then like,
and those are like long-standing,
timeless.
Yeah, they're timeless for sure. But again, a new Ghostbusters movie, even with Bill Murray and whoever else is still alive, it wouldn't hit the same way as the OG.
Right. Although I will say, I think their plan with Ghostbusters Afterlife is the right way to do it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be better than,
because it's not like it's Bill and Dan and Ernie Hudson throwing on the proton packs and out there. It sounds like they're going to probably be there to guide these kids into
they're going to be
into Egon past as their grandkids. Yeah, they're going to just shepherd them over here, and then they're going to fuck off if there's any other movies.
Yeah.
But like you said, Girls Ghostbusters, where you're pretending it didn't happen to do it again and expect to get the same result is just foolish.
Yeah. Again, the movie wasn't bad because it was all girls. The movie was bad because the premise was bad.
Yes. And what makes it worse is that when you say that to the director, he just goes after you.
Yeah.
Even Leslie Jones will go after you. No one's saying it's because it had girls. Everyone's just saying is you took a classic, pretended it didn't happen, and tried to make it your own.
It would have been the same if it was 4 guys. Like the movie, the reason it was bad had nothing to do with the actors or actresses, like anyone in the movie, other than potentially,
like we said,
Thor.
Just say you opened a new franchise of Ghostbusters in a city that's not New York.
Yeah.
And done the exact same thing, people wouldn't have shit all over it.
Yeah, it may have been bad, but then it would have been bad for different reasons.
Yeah. Obviously. Well, obviously.
Obviously.
It's not like you're remaking Point Break.
Although they should.
They did. Speaking of which, you're a big, well, I should say big Bill and Ted fan. Did you see the Bill and Ted movies?
I did see the Bill and Ted movie.
I watched Excellent Adventure the other day. I'm like, how did this get made?
Yeah, like I remember it's not.
It's not great.
No, and maybe it was.
Journey. I watch Bogus Journey all the fucking time.
Yeah,
I don't.
But I don't know. Like again, it's definitely trying to play on that nostalgia, the same record that everyone else is trying to play on right now. But I don't know. I'm not as pumped to see a new Bill and Ted adventure as I would be to see like I don't know, like a Encino Man 2, something like that. I think I would be like more on board with, and even then I'd be like, or like Biodome with Pauly Shore.
I am sensing a Pauly Shore trip down memory lane. Encino Man, Biodome, Jury Duty,
In the Army Now.
In the Army Now.
Oh man,
a Goofy movie.
That was a good movie though.
Yeah,
I was a big fan. Also, great soundtrack.
Right?
It was very good. I feel like if
Powerline, man, Powerline.
Yeah,
knew what was up.
Is that on Disney Plus? I might need to watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is. Oh, I think that's going to be
an extremely goofy movie.
Yeah, I think that's coming up. And you know what? That was a good feel good movie about like father and sons.
There is a fuck, I'm forgetting everything.
Yeah, you're getting too old for this shit.
Honestly, for a goofy movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Like at one part, it's like it says it contains just the right amount of Pauly Shore.
Classic.
Oh, Pauly. I like Pauly Shore's movies. I watch them all the time. I was young. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's right.
That was my jam, man.
It's like watching the Ernest movies and being like, these are good.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
All the time.
And then now you're like, why am I watching?
It taught me what was it, Miak? Was that like he thought it was milk, but it was like misspelled or something? And like,
oh yeah,
he bought a bunch of Miak.
Oh my god!
Like troll eggs were Brussels sprouts or something.
Oh,
coming up, Ernest Scared Stupid.
That'll be it.
The deep dive. One last thing, unrelated to anything we're talking about. So you said WordPress, apparently,
yeah,
locked out of the App Store because they were
not happy with that. Well, no, they're back in it now. Apple actually apologized. Like Apple never apologizes, and they actually said, like, we're sorry for making you do this. Although Apple is in some
free app that they said you can't be on here because you're not charging people.
Yeah, but no, that's backtracked. They are not backtracking on
Fortnite,
Epic Games, but it's also Epic not backtracking on their stuff too.
So if this is your policy, they should adhere to the policy, and if they're not going to adhere to the policy, then they should accept the consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. It's trillionaires fighting with billionaires. Like there's so much money being thrown around. Like it doesn't matter. Both Epic and their parent company Tencent or whatever.
Sure.
And Apple have the money to just drag this out in courts forever. I'm like normally I would be on Epic's side as just like the littler guy that has
The medium guy.
like hundreds of millions of dollars versus Apple's $2 trillion.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, Epic tried. So on Android, right? The Epic's main thing is on iOS. If you want to be on iPhones and iPads and stuff like that, you have to go through the App Store, and there's zero alternatives, which constitutes as a monopoly, right?
Mhm.
So it's you either play by Apple's rules or you are not on Apple products.
Right.
Whereas on Android, you have the Google Play Store, you also have Amazon's App Store. On Samsung phones, you have Samsung's like Galaxy Store, or you can be like a side-loaded application. And Google said, sure, if you don't want to pay our 30% rate,
Yep.
go ahead, tell your people that tell whoever that they can download from Fortnite.com or whatever it was. And so Fortnite did that. And after like 3 or 4 months of doing that, they ended up just going back to Google's Play Store because people weren't sideloading. People weren't going through the trouble to go to this website and then jump through the like relatively small hoops
But
to
they're
get
hoops.
Fortnite. They're small barriers, and people didn't want to do that. So then they reluctantly went back to the Google Play Store and were paying the like 30% tax on stuff. And it's the thing that I'm like not on Epic's side for is like PlayStation and Xbox and the Switch. They're also charging 30%.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that.
and Epic is not like,
Fighting with
gunning
them.
for them at all. Um so it's a weird situation where both sides are right, but also they're wrong.
Mhm.
Um
Because in the
and
end, it's only the consumer that's
yes,
suffering.
well, only
If they
the
don't
only
new
the
consumers.
iOS consumers.
Right.
But the much bigger fight now has turned into Apple potentially taking away Epic's developer license completely. And then what that would mean is, because Epic owns or distributes the Unreal software
Okay.
and or the Unreal
Whichever
Engine,
which everyone uses.
which everyone uses. And now if people can't use the Unreal Engine because it's not allowed to be on the App Store or on like Macs or anything, um, then that's a huge loss to Epic as well as Apple, because now they're losing a bunch of other like subsidiary games and like programs. But now there's also the side
Until
where
Apple's engine shows up, and then here
yeah.
you
Well,
go.
there's a lot of people or a lot of developers just switching to Unity uh
Okay.
for their engine, because they're
Yeah.
like, all right, well, because some developers are like, yeah, Epic's fighting for me because I don't have the means to fight. And the smaller developers are just, they're locked into that 30%, and they don't have the means that Epic has to say, fine, we're not gonna take our spot, or we'll just take our ball and go home, because they need to be
Yeah.
on the App Store. And if that means that they charge the consumer 30% more so that, you know, Apple takes that 30% and they still make whatever they wanted to make, then so be it. But it's either that or they make nothing. And for Epic, that's okay because they have other like revenue streams,
Yeah,
but
because the game
smaller.
is free, right?
Yeah, it's the whole like especially with Fortnite. Fortnite gets like the center stage on all of this, but Epic has a bunch of games, right? So it's not
Mhm.
just Fortnite, but Fortnite is the biggest game like out there right now. I don't know, maybe not like PUBG and all those other ones, but like
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. But the main thing with Fortnite is buying digital goods that don't even add any advantage. It's like buying a virtual um, set of clothes for your avatar, and people are paying real money, like real dollars, to buy
Shirts.
Epic's V dollars um, to buy things in their store, and that's where Epic's making all of their money
And I
is
hate that. I hate that stuff.
the microtransactions. But like it's so different than other microtransactions because it seems like other ones are like, okay, the game is free to play, but you can advance your character faster by paying, right?
Yeah.
Like increasing your attributes, or even with games like the new
NBA.
NHL games and NBA and stuff like that, right? You can buy coins to make your character better, quicker than just like grinding out experience points.
Mm-hmm.
But with Fortnite, it's like the thing doesn't even make your character better at all. So like,
drop $2,000 on 14 pairs of pants.
yeah, exactly. And so like that's what's weird about it is it's a free to play game where you can pay real money to literally keep your character exactly the same,
Now,
other than looks.
did I hear correctly that folks who have the game on their iPad or their iPhone can continue playing with it, but they've lost access to all of that stuff?
I think it's what is on their phone is on their phone. But the way Fortnite works is every like 2 weeks or every month or something, they have a new um, chapter or a new event
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
that
No more
happens.
updates.
So yeah, they iOS, iPad, and Mac users playing Fortnite will not get the next update. Whenever that is, in a couple weeks or whatever it is. Now, what I'm not sure about is if you will need to have that update to continue playing. Like if you need to be on the same update to cross play, or will you like, if iOS users right now have like Fortnite 1.0 and then Fortnite 2.0 comes out, if they'll be able to play against each other. But there's, that's kind of all up in the air. But there's also, do you remember Flappy Bird
Yes.
and how like it got insane, and then the guy who made it was like, it's too much. I'm taking it off the App Store.
Yes.
And then people were selling iPhones with Flappy Bird installed because
Yep.
for some reason it was necessary. Apparently there's like people selling iPhones and iPads on eBay for like, thousands of dollars, like $10,000
Yeah, people
because
were
it
doing
has
that too
Fortnite.
when they had hacked versions of Pokemon Go. They were selling it.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
There's a market.
but
Apparently.
it's all just so silly because like, I don't know. It's just a,
Because we know how to put it on our phone.
yeah, well, yeah, that too. I mean, especially on Android, like you can still sideload Fortnite. You don't have to go through the Play Store. It's just that,
People like it. It's
why,
easier.
yeah, like while Android allows you to do it, not the error message, the warning messages that come up, and how many of them come up when you're installing, you know, non-official software. There's a lot, and it's like if you actually read what it says, which like you and I don't anymore because we understand the risks, and
Mm-hmm.
we know like most of the time it's going to be safe. But if you actually read what it says, it's like, are you sure you want to download this like untrusted file that literally could be anything and could mess up your phone, blah 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 blah, and you have to say yes to that like 3 times.
Are you sure?
And
Are you really
yeah,
sure?
are you absolutely really sure?
Okay,
And
don't bring me
yeah,
on.
like there's a lot of people that wouldn't want to go through that hassle, and which
Yeah.
which Epic found out because they tried to do it and it didn't work. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I have a feeling that everyone. This is like it's lose lose lose. for everyone. Like Apple's going to lose a bunch of money from Fortnite not being on the store. Fortnite's going to lose, or Epic's going to lose a lot of money from Fortnite not being on the store. And the consumer especially is going to lose because, like, unless Apple just all of a sudden says, okay, Epic, you one developer is right. We're going to drop our fees to 10%. Like, that's not going to happen. And no amount of courts and antitrust and like monopoly situation is going to make Apple drop it. They'll be like, okay, like we're going to lose Fortnite. We still have $2 trillion. Like it literally makes no difference to them.
I was just gonna say, like at the end of the day, if that's their policy, that's their policy. Like they may have gone too far, or even might lose the whole pulling their developer license or certificate or whatever the hell it is. But if this was the policy from the jump, that's the policy.
Yeah, and I mean that's Epic's. Yeah, and like that's Epic's argument is that it's a bad policy, right? Like, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a good policy or bad policy. It's
policy.
If you want to play on Apple's court, like they have the ball. You can rent the ball, and if you don't like it, like Apple's gonna take its ball and go home. And that's it.
You want to wear jeans Monday to Friday, but you can only wear it on Friday. That's the policy.
Yeah, that's it.
If you wear jeans, you get sent home and lose a day's pay. That's on you.
Yeah, and if you decide to do that for like 2 weeks in a row, and they're like, you know what, maybe just don't come in anymore. Like that's also on you. Like you have the choice to not wear jeans and come in, or wear your jeans and take a stand.
If it's if I learn anything from Spider-Man 2, it's that everyone has a choice, Peter.
That's right.
So we both have Raptors gear on.
We do have Raptors gear on.
We might not see any more Raptors games.
Well, I think we'll see Raptors games, just not
for a while.
Not the first game of their second round.
Okay, so for those unaware, I'm sure everyone's aware. So the NBA players are taking a stand, or a strike protest.
Protest
based on
boycott. That's the word.
Yeah, another police shooting incident in Wisconsin. And if you take them on their word, so their word is that they are not going to stand for this anymore, that they're not going to play until there's change, I would say then there will be no more basketball. Like, period. On their word. Because what is the NBA going to do to force change on federal policies?
Right.
So like I'm with them. I think there should be some sort of reform overall in
of course,
police, but how much of it is just
I think it's
like
so there's a small, I mean, everyone basically that's in the bubble is there to to play basketball and stuff, but like there's a reason that they are that they're all wearing jerseys with names, like other people's names and slogans and stuff like that on them. There's a reason that all the courts have Black Lives Matter written on them. There's a reason that all this stuff is happening. And I mean, there was a point before the bubble happened that some players were like, we shouldn't go.
Yeah, you and I were talking about Kyrie, right?
Kyrie and Dwight Howard also said that. No, and
Dwight Howard's usually hurt. He wasn't going.
He's there. He's helped.
One time he's not hurt,
but
4 months of being able to heal.
Yeah, like their stance was, if we go in the bubble, then we are unable to help out here. Where they can make their voices heard a bit more often, they can continue to protest, they can continue to fight, and they can continue to be the voice for some people that may not have as big of a voice. In the end, Dwight Howard went to the bubble. Kyrie went, and that's fine.
Are they getting paid?
Yeah.
So it's only in the NHL you don't get paid in the playoffs.
They're getting what? NHL? They're not getting paid?
No, your pay ends at the season. The rest is just from the championship.
Yeah, no, they're getting paid for sure.
But that's what I always thought. Like people in the NHL, like if they're there, it's because they want to win.
Yeah,
Not because they're collecting a paycheck, because
No.
their final pay, my understanding is the last 2 weeks of the season, it's within there. So anything after that, it's just because your contract only covers the
No. I
season.
mean, that might be the case with basketball too, but like I'm sure that there's incentives for
Oh yeah,
playing.
again,
You know, like
shit, right?
not maybe not officially part of their paycheck, but like there's incentives for them playing. But then so after this shooting in Wisconsin, a bunch of players like post game interviews, they're like, I'm
Yeah,
not going to be talking about basketball. So whatever questions you have, like say them, but just not basketball related. And Fred Van Vliet of the Raptors was basically like, I don't know why I'm here because I thought that sports were supposed to bring us together. The reason that we were playing through all of this was to have some sense of normalcy, and like we were going to use our platform to bring light to all of this,
yeah,
and clearly it's not working
no,
because it just happened again. Um, and he was just like, at this point, and not just him, but a lot of other players were like, at this point, our voices might be better off outside of the bubble. And if that means we don't play, we don't play. Like there was a rumor, I don't know if how legitimate it is and how much truth there actually is to it. Um, but the Raptors were like that's fine. We're done our season. The Celtics can take the win and
yeah,
we're gonna leave. Um, which would like be a huge blow to the NBA to have the last season's champions
just
just
walk.
say we're good.
Yeah.
We don't need this, and you don't need us here.
You think if they were to do that in the long run, they are the winners?
I think so. I mean, I
It'd be
think
better,
that
it'd be better for them, and at the same time, just like destroy the league.
yeah, but I think that if a team does that, whether it's the Raptors or any
The
other
Lakers.
team,
Fuck if it's the Lakers, man.
yeah, no, but even if they're like right now, it's really it's the Raptors, it's the Bucks, it's the Lakers, and it's the Clippers. Everyone else is just there,
Yeah,
right? But if one team leaves, regardless of who it is, I doubt that they would be the only team to leave, right? So it
I'm
might,
sure they're all like they're all talking amongst themselves.
yeah,
Like
exactly. And
talk
even
what
the
Adam Silver is gonna do dictates what we're gonna do.
and like even so, it all kind of started today with the Milwaukee Bucks saying like we're not going to play. They didn't come out, and the Magic, who they're playing, were like, we will not accept a forfeit, so we're not going to come out either. Where they could have easily just been like, okay, I guess we win.
I'm sure if it was the Nets.
Yeah. Um, well, no, they're still down three. They're still down 3-1. So you
Hey,
know, I
anything can
mean,
happen.
the thing is, if any of the basketball teams go against this, they're going to look like the worst, right? There's if Orlando had been like, yeah,
Even
okay,
if it be the Knicks,
we'll
like
take
they need a win.
even the Knicks, guaranteed, right? It's just a bad situation all around. So
I know.
basically, all the teams are either going to stick together or they're not, because as soon as one team doesn't, they look terrible. Um, and really, like Milwaukee doing it's as
Number one
close
team, right?
as like it's going to hit as close to home as possible. And I guess the Brewers are also saying we're not going to play tonight's games. So the Brewers and whoever they're playing, the game is postponed. It's
Yeah.
the games aren't canceled; they will just be postponed. And we'll see how long this lasts. A one game boycott is one thing. A 1
We're not
week
playing. Yeah.
boycott
Tomorrow,
or a leaving the bubble is a completely different situation. Um,
because it snowballs, right? Because it's games tonight, and the Raptors said they're not going to play tomorrow.
yeah, but like it's also tomorrow would be a second round game. Hold on. Yeah. So tomorrow would be a second round game,
Right.
whereas all of tonight's games
Oh.
and at least one more game for the Clippers and the Mavericks is going to be a first round game. So it like
Yeah.
the Raptors not playing is more of a just a solidarity move because if that series starts a couple of days later, it will just line up with everyone else starting round 2. So like that's not a huge deal, but delaying a bunch of round 1 games like actually makes a difference.
You think
And like
all
to
the teams like going to your MLB thing? I know Milwaukee's not playing. Should they have all not played?
I'm not sure about that. I think Milwaukee makes the most sense cuz the shooting happened kind of like right there.
Because I know hockey played
Um,
today.
yeah, and it's we're all in Canada here. I think hockey will still play, and I think most other baseball teams will still play.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think that the basketball solidarity has a lot to do with the fact that they're not able to be out, right? Baseball, hockey, uh, football, if it was on, they would still be able to like go on a radio show and talk about it or
Yeah,
something.
so there are 3 games postponed due to boycott
In baseball,
in baseball. So the Brewers, obviously, hosting the Reds,
yeah,
Padres and Mariners, and the Giants and Dodgers.
yeah. I don't know. I honestly I didn't even expect any. I don't know why I didn't expect any of the baseball ones to be postponed. I haven't been reading up on it. I've been reading more about the basketball stuff um because I watch it more often. But yeah, I mean I'm very much I want basketball season to happen. I want this season to have a winner and I want the Raptors to be that winner.
Mhm.
Um But if the Raptors decided like, "Hey, we're going to forego this thing that we've been, working at all year to prove a point about how terrible like the real world is." Yeah, like I'm on board with that. I think that's a I think it's a huge power move. I think it's a huge like morality move and if more people were willing to make that move, then maybe some change could happen. Like probably not because it's pretty like, all those things are like deep. It's not just going to be an easy thing to change, but the more people do it, hopefully something happens. It's really hard to like not be negative on it cuz people have been boycotting and people have been protesting and kneeling and everything for like not just the last few months or years, but like decades about this stuff and nothing's happened. So yeah, is like not playing basketball the thing that's going to change everything? Like no.
No,
But if it makes a bigger stand than some other stuff, then like I'm for it.
yeah, it's just like this year can't end soon enough.
Yeah. Well, like yes, I agree with you, but also like there's no indication that 2021
No,
is,
there's not. And
like
if you were to ask me today what I think come November 4th, 2021 will be like, I'm going to tell you the same until 2024,
yeah,
if not worse,
yeah,
because that's just how this year's going. Is that
yeah,
it's so bad? It's been steadily since 2016 getting bad. It's you'd think would have hit ahead this year, but I just feel as though it's like party trifecta. It's just going to keep it.
Just keep it going, bro. Absolutely.
That's just how I foresee things happening.
I I really hope that you're wrong. But I don't disagree with you because
Life
people are dumb and
very.
that's just what it's going to come. And like this is the other thing too is if these players, some of the most popular uh, people in the entire world, um, they can't change racism.
No,
on their own.
no.
But if they can sway enough people, or if they can, if the people who like them, the people who are their biggest fans, if they can change their mind on what happens in November of this year,
Mhm.
then that could be the start of some sort of change, you know? So, yeah, maybe boycotting isn't going to solve racism, but maybe it could solve some other things that are making racism more rampant, you know? If we can just dial that racism back a little bit, maybe that's a good enough start for right now, and then we can work on the other stuff. But again, while I hope you're wrong, I I just I can't
Really?
disagree with what you're saying.
Well, it's just like Ashley was at the store the other day, and she told me that she was waiting in line to cash out, and she was listening to people have arguments. Well, actually, there was a conversation about how they're done with all this. They're done with the masks. They think it's all crap. And where do you think they're getting all that information from?
Yeah.
It ain't from the scientists or the
No.
doctors. It's off of Facebook and probably just Facebook.
Well,
She said
okay,
she was older, and
yeah,
most people, older folks, are on Facebook.
but it's probably from Facebook, but at the same time, like, Facebook's algorithms just keep you inside your own little bubble, right? Like, you will read, or like they will bring to the top things that you want to read. So it's just going to reaffirm what you believe, like Facebook isn't going to show links that,
You may,
yeah, like links that may question what you believe. They're not going to show that. They're just going to, you're just going to stay in your own echo chamber and be like, yes, this is what everyone is thinking. Everyone is thinking like me. And that's what Facebook does. And
I
like,
used to think social media was going to be like the downfall of humanity, but I think it's the curated algorithms.
yeah, because social
It's
media, there's a lot of good that can happen, but God,
like
there's so
memes.
much bad that can happen.
Yeah, memes are where it's at.
That's right.
So on that ever so bleak note.
Oh wait, I have a thing.
Okay, go.
I actually I wanted to bring this up when we're being all nostalgic, um, but there's a show on Netflix called shoot, what's it called? Something about video. Oh, it's called High Score. And it's like a small series, like 6 episodes, 8 episodes, or something like that.
Yep.
And I've only seen the first episode so far. And the first episode is just about the rise of Space Invaders and Pac-Man and the Atari.
Yep.
And then looking at it now, the next episode is about the Nintendo. And then there's going to be an episode on the Sega Genesis. And then like PlayStation and like more 3D games and stuff like that. And it is like it's nostalgia punching you in the face like Punch Out.
Mike
It's
Tyson or
like, yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And so like it's really interesting. It's really cool because they go in depth on like how Space Invaders came about. They talk to some of the creators, like going from arcade games to consoles where you can play at home, and how cartridges came to be instead of just like a game console that only plays one game.
like
All of a sudden there was a console that you could like build a game library. It was really interesting. And if you like video games even a little bit, or if you just like history of awesome stuff, I highly recommend that. It's trending on Netflix too, so I'm sure you'll see, if you ever open up Netflix, it'll be one of the top ones there. But definitely, after one episode, I recommend.
hook, line, and sinker.
But yeah, I was like all in on the first episode, and the next episode is about Nintendo, like the original. So it's going to be good.
No love for the Commodore 64.
No, they skipped past that. Yeah, it's they went to Atari, Atari, Nintendo.
Talk it all about the bus that was the Sega Dreamcast.
I don't think they're going to get there. I don't know.
Probably
It's
not,
all
but
it's all about good things. So I doubt the Dreamcast is going to be in there. No, I think it's
it was around the time of the PS2.
no, it's Cory. This is for good stuff. That's it. It's not for bad things. This is a happy place. It's a happy place, and they're not going to be talking about the Nintendo 2DS. I think the farthest they get is like the 64, if that. I don't even know, but definitely worth watching. I think it can only get better from the first episode. So that would be my recommendation for the week.
Well, since we're talking about inventions, I'll leave you with this. Of all the inventions in the last 100 years, the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable. That's one people will get on the ride home.
If you've made it this far.
Remarkable. It's a play on words.
I get it. No, I get it.
No, let me explain why it's funny. I hear chicks like that. Oh, wait, sorry. Women. Hashtag feminist. All right, so that's Open Caller for this week. Follow us everywhere at Open Caller Pod. That is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. For my brown friend over here, Michelle, I'm Cory, reminding you all to keep it casual.